This is piece 101, The Swing by John Honra Fragonard. 1767 is when it was painted on oil and canvas. It is a French painting. The context for this is that it is a Rococo genre of painting. And Rococo is like the Baroque, where there's movement and there's theatrics involved, but it's more on the light side. So it's got soft colors, almost pastels. You can see that here in the seesaw. It is lighthearted scenes of love. This is the bathers, and this is love letters. You can see kind of these rounded um, garden scenes as well. Here's another Rococo piece by Jean Henri Fragonard. This is showing us just that same palette, same frolicking, same garden kind of notion. And again, this is another swing image here. Further context about the history at the time is that this is painted in 1767, 22 years before the French Revolution. This shows us in this painting that the wealthy people of France were out of touch with the poor taxpayers of their country. The wealthy were living in incredible, lavish environments and just had no clue about the poor. They are contextually playing in gardens like the gardens of Versailles, and they're playing in this lavish garden, and she is like a flower in bloom. So totally out of touch. More context, the Baron Julian, I like to call him, was the commissioner of this piece. He went to artists asking for a painting of himself. He's down here, and his lover. She is the one on the swing. And he initially was refused by painters, but Fragonard was like, hey, if you want to pay me, I'll paint whatever you want. He requested that he be in the garden looking up her skirts. He initially requested that the man holding the ropes on the swing be a bishop in the Catholic Church. Fragonard didn't feel like he could do that. And the intention of this was to obviously have some erotic sexual symbolism in this painting. So, in terms of form, what specific visual evidence do we see? We have a woman on a swing. She has a kitten-heeled shoe that's flying up in the air. It's flying toward a cupid who's got his finger at his mouth. There's a man on the ground in bushes, and the man is looking toward the woman. He's looking up her skirts. His color of his skin, his boutonniere, and her dress color all match. So this is a highlight of the piece. There's an older, looks like maybe, man standing behind her with the ropes guiding her swing. There are two putti who are playing. Maybe they're playing with a beehive or they're playing with a fish. That's debated all the time. And there is a little dog right here in the piece that is barking. Furthermore, in terms of form-specific visual evidence, is we have dramatic lighting in this piece. You can see that she is all lit up. It's set in a garden, and it is intended to be a sexual allegory in the garden. So that's our form. In terms of content, how do we see all this? Well, this very wealthy, elaborately dressed, many layers of clothes, lace on her clothing woman is sitting on a velvet cushion swing, totally extravagant. She is very aware of the situation. We could have a discussion about the role of women at this era of society. Was she complicit or did she not have a choice? She seems happy and complicit. She has opened her leg or her skirts by lifting up her leg, and she is tossing off her little kitten-heeled shoe. In addition, we have behind her a man who is like totally unaware of the situation going on in front of him. He just seems to be happily pulling her on the swing or pushing her on the swing. He is literally in the dark in this painting. He is figuratively in the dark in the painting. He is literally like kind of out of touch. Oh God, I didn't do that right. He's literally in the dark. Literally is what you can actually see. And it represents the figurative idea of him being in the dark on the relationship. God. Okay. And then content wise, we have a boyfriend down below. He's hanging out in the bushes, face totally looking enamored with her, looking up her dress, holding his 3-corner hat. The positioning of his arm is thought to be a phallic position, and totally love struck, totally infatuated. Then kind of what we also see in terms of content, and I didn't write it here and I want to say it now, that the dog that's barking is a sign of, hey, the dog is perhaps saying there's some discontent going on. This is not okay. But the man who's pushing the swing, her husband, is still kind of oblivious despite that dog yelling. There's talk about this Cupid, the lover's role of Cupid maybe represents Madame Pompadour, who was a mistress of King Louis XV. He gave her a Cupid statue. And so maybe this all is referring to illicit love affairs that the high society of French are involved in. And the Cupid's got its finger in its mouth, kind of saying, hey, we shouldn't be talking about what's going on here. Maybe the Cupid is shushing the putti here who are playing. Finally, function, the initial function of this piece is that the Baron is calling attention to his relationship with this mistress. And he's having created by Fragonard this remembrance of their relationship. That's definitely one of the primary functions of this piece. That's how money was exchanged, or what money was exchanged for. But in general, this piece shows us the moral decay of the aristocrats in France pre-revolution. It shows the licentiousness of the aristocracy, that they're having these love affairs in a garden and they're oblivious to everything else. Okay, so this is The Swing by Jean-Henri Fragonard, 1767, oil on canvas. Painted in France. It's a Rococo piece.